Morning, Brenda.
Hi, Jenny. Listen to this. Sagittarius, you are emerging from a period of dramatic change, but now opportunities beckon and affairs could develop in your favour.
Sounds good. Have you been going through much change lately?
Well, I got a new car, a green one. Well, not exactly new to me, you know what I mean.
That's nice.
My mum's moving house. She's a nurse, did you know?
No, I didn't.
And my cat died last month.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, so was he. It was very unexpected.
Oh, dear.
So in a way, I have been going through a period of change lately.
Dramatic.
And Mike's divorce comes through today.
Pardon?
He's got his decree nisi.
Oh, so that's why he's going to be late this morning. I knew he'd separated from his wife, but this has all happened very suddenly.
Well, the pace of change is much swifter in these modern times. We all have to adjust, Jenny.
Clearly. But what has Mike's divorce got to do with you?
He's my boss. It's bound to affect the working environment.
I guess so.
Besides, he's a Leo.
Right. Morning.
Morning.
If Brenda had a brain, she'd be dangerous.
Meow.
Oh, by the way, did you know that Mike's divorce had come through?
No. Now you come to mention it, he has been a bit tetchy recently.
So our Mike is a free man, is he? Well, well, well.
Morning, team. We all here?
Oh, Mike sends his apologies. He'll be joining us later.
Oh, okay.
He's having his handcuffs removed.
Handcuffs?
His divorce goes through today.
Oh. Obviously changes in the air.
Oh, why do you say that?
Well, I'd rather have you all together here, but, well, Mike can catch up later. I just wanted to talk to you about a major change program at Redware. Project 2000.
Oh, my God, here we go again.
Charles, do you have a problem?
It's just that dreaded word change. I think I've been through more changes in the last 5 years than a child being potty trained.
Yeah?
Well, we'd all go off on an away day to some posh estate miles away in the countryside. We'd chew over the issues and come up with a brand new vision and business mission, just as forgettable as the last one. Then we'd go back to work, and a week later it was all forgotten. The only people to benefit from change programs are the owners of country house hotels.
Lee, how do you feel about this?
You're talking to a software writer. Our life is about change. Nothing stays still for more than 5 minutes. If it's not the hardware becoming twice as fast, it's the operating systems becoming twice as powerful. You can't manage change. It just happens. The staff in my department don't even dare take a holiday. They're scared that if they come back, I'll have to fire them for being obsolete.
Jenny?
Well, it strikes me that change is often just another macho way in which men can print their identity on a place. I mean, they'll take a company or a team, and whether it's successful or not, they'll change it, just to obliterate the identity of the previous manager. I think that women prefer to build on what's there already.
Well, I guess I'm sympathetic to all of your reservations. Change is all-encompassing, right? It's not new. It's been with us always, you know. Without change, we'd all be amoeba swimming around in the primordial soup, right?
I'd be working for Microsoft or studying for my amoeba MBA.
Exactly. Ambition, one of the driving forces of evolution. Charles, I see your eyes glazing over.
Well, evolution, business process re-engineering, quality programs, ISO 9000. It's like one of those chants. What do you call them?
Mantras.
Yes. They can stun a man to sleep at 30 yards.
Have I got this right? On top of the 20 Steps project that we're already on, you want to implement another change program?
It has very little to do with what I want. It's what the business needs. Management is like driving a car. You're driving along a hell of a lick, the competition eating your dust. Now, ahead of you is a very large brick wall, but you can't see it because your foot is jammed right on the accelerator, and you're staring in the rearview mirror. at all your past successes.
Why does there have to be a brick wall up ahead?
Because the world is changing. Technology's changing. Your competitors are finding new ideas, getting ahead. Markets dry up, disappear.
But if we can't predict the future, how do we know we're not changing direction into another brick wall?
We don't. That's what makes it so interesting. But I tell you, if we carry on this direction, sooner or later, Redware is going to hit a brick wall, and I want to be ready for it. One thing is certain. Status quo is not an option.
What you mean is, we don't have an option. Softex have bought us out, and now they want to change us.
You want to keep the good bits and lose the bits that don't fit. Go on, deny it.
I can't. You are absolutely right. Now that Redware is part of Softex, it's clearly a waste of resources not to combine certain functions. Finance, for a start, some administration.
Hey, hang on a minute, that's my area.
Jenny, I am suggesting changes, not imposing them. You must decide how to make the changes and to whom.
Oh, that's great. So we become your hatchet men. No, thank you very much.
Charles, you've been through change programs before. By the sound of it, they've all failed. It's not surprising. They are extraordinarily difficult things to get right. I've done 5. Only 2 could be classed as being successful.
Not a great batting average, old man.
But I've learned a lot in the process. I've learned that you don't achieve it in one step. You have to be flexible. It takes a hell of a long time. It's bloody to start with. But it does get better, providing that you have the energy, the commitment, and the willpower of everyone in the organization. And that means starting with you guys.
You are really selling this to us, John.
Tell you what, take a look at this. Now, this is a company that went bankrupt. They really did hit a brick wall head on. They picked themselves up with a management buyout. Now they really are motoring again. Take a look.
In 1993, Leyland DAF came to a grinding halt. Now reborn as LDV after a management buyout, all that has changed. The company now has a turnover of £200 million, and over the past 3 years, production has doubled to 4,000 fans a week.
Part of our business plan was for us to become the van specialist, and so we had to make the van part of the business competitive and attractive to a customer base. And fundamental to that would be a change in the working practices in order to achieve that end.
The success of LDV is largely due to a change in their ways of working. Now they work in small teams with a team leader and direct access to a manager.
Some of the changes that we actually looked to implement were quite different to the way that we'd operated within the plant beforehand. There was a fair level of resistance to that to start off with, in as much as the comments that were coming out were, oh, you used to pay an industrial engineer to do that, now you're expecting us to do it. I had to break through the barrier there, that it was a positive move forward.
Every single worker in this plant knows that change has got to be constant, it's got to be normal, and it's the only way that we will stay competitive and keep winning. The fundamental lesson is to keep people informed and make sure that people that are involved in your business understand, A, what the changes are, how they affect them, and what the benefits and the reasons for those changes are.
Yes, hi. Debbie. Yes, I've just got back from the solicitors. I know, hard to believe, isn't it? No. Look, don't start crying. No, this isn't the time to talk about it. Debbie, look, it's over. No one died. Look, you've got the house, you've got the dogs, you've got the rest of your life in front of you. Darling, listen. Nothing stays the same forever. Yeah, look to the future. No, I'll ring you later. Yes, tonight. Okay.
So what are the targets, John? How many people do we have to sacrifice on the altar of Project 2000?
Well, what do you think?
Well, it's an impossible question to answer.
Well, I guess we could lose some weight from admin. There's Jackie, for instance.
But she's been with the company 12 years.
I know.
Jackie will never find a new position at her age. Sorry I'm late. Spot of legal business.
Charles, don't think in terms of individuals at this stage. Think about the business. What it needs in terms of resource for the future. Who goes, who stays, become obvious once the plan's in place.
Plan? What plan?
Well, my guys are definitely safe. I mean, we can't be a software company without programmers.
Excuse me, am I missing something here? I've only been out of the office for 90 minutes and already you're talking about firing people.
Sorry, Mike, I should have briefed you.
Briefed me? I should bloody say so. No sooner is my back turned than the knives are out. And what's all this about getting rid of Jackie?
Mike, listen, I apologize, but all I've done is introduce the idea of change. But you're the managers. You must decide how it's implemented. First things first. Imagine that Redware was a brand new company, an MBO being set up by the four of you. Yeah? Now, talk to your teams and come up with your own idea of what your ideal department would be. Yeah? Who you take with you, who you let go. Now, I give each of you a blank sheet of paper. Take your time to consult with your staff.
But that will just create panic and a fear of redundancies.
Not if you involve them in the process. I'm not looking for heads on plates. I am looking for constructive, coherent plans.
Look, my life is falling apart. I've lost my home, my dogs, my wife, and now I might lose my job.
Why do you say that? It's up to you, all of you, to decide who goes and who stays. Look at this as starting a new life for the sales department, yeah? Nothing stays the same forever.
So, how much time have we got?
Well, talk to your people over this week. Refer to the Beechwood report. Yeah? Put your first thoughts down on paper and get them to me. Let's meet again, say, Friday. Take a look at the whole picture. But remember, I am looking for efficiencies.
Sackings, you mean?
I don't care whether you sack the lot or you keep them all, just so long as you can prove to me that your decision will make this a better, more productive company.
It's all right for you, John. You haven't put years of yourself into this company.
That's why I'm here. I can look at the company objectively. But I can also see what the company can become in the future if we make the right decisions now.
You make it sound so simple.
Simple it won't be. You are going to hit mountains of resistance, all of you. The key is for everyone to change a bit, rather than just a few having to change a lot. We're all in this together, building a better company.
We'll see about that.
Charles, this report says we could lose 5 people from production without damaging output.
Typical head in the clouds consultants. What do they know about our business?
It's pure rubbish. We could lose 10 and it wouldn't hurt us.
10, are you sure?
Yes, of course. We don't need quality inspectors for a start. We just turn all production staff into their own quality inspectors.
But would that work?
Well, everybody else is doing it. Zero defects is the cornerstone of quality management. You see, basically, you can't inspect quality into a product. You've got to build it into the process. Now, I was reading a fascinating book the other day.
Yes, all right, but it doesn't help me with the current situation. I'm going to have a job on my hands convincing John Wood not to make cuts in our department.
What? When you know we're already overstaffed?
Well, keep that opinion under your hat. From now on, we've got to look leaner than an anorexic whippet.
But just think of the dead wood we could get rid of. We could sack most of Redshift for a start.
But what about morale among other shifts?
Well, they'd throw a party. Everybody knows that Redshift is a waste of space.
You know that and I know that. But if I go back on Friday and offer them 10 redundancies, that's letting Lee off the hook.
Oh, of course. Software, the old enemy.
I want to see Lee lose some of his precious and overpaid propeller heads before we lose anyone in production.
Now, Bob, I do not want our response to be seen as an attack on production.
Of course not. Why?
Because that would be far too unsubtle.
Right.
No, it's all a question of tactics. We should appear to be conciliatory. We must offer up 5 or 6 programmers for redundancy.
We must.
But then I want you to remind me that personnel forgot to put confidentiality clauses in their contracts.
They did. Who would have thought they could have forgotten something so simple?
Actually, that was me. But Jenny's a soft touch. She won't say a thing.
Ah, so sadly, although you would love to shed staff and help out in the common cause of business efficiency, you can't take the risk of losing any programmers for fear of them taking our ideas to the competition.
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant. Checkmate.
Well, if you want to make some savings, I don't mind moving on. George is retiring later this year, and I guess Softex might come up with a juicy redundancy package for me.
In your dreams, Jackie.
Besides, you're too valuable. And you know where the skeletons are buried.
If anyone should walk the plank, it's me. I mean, my work could easily be done by Softex's legal eagles.
No way, Susan. Look, we make our money from licensing software. In order to do that, we need watertight patents. And you're the best patent lawyer in the business. I'm not letting you out of my sight.
Well, you're going to have to give the vultures something.
How about accounts?
Possibly. They don't give any added value. I suppose we could merge our people with Softex. That would lighten 4, maybe 5 jobs.
Mike won't like his expenses going through Softex. From what I've heard, they're real sticklers for the rules.
Oh, well then that's definite. We give up accounts but hang on to legal.
I'll drink to that. And since one good deed deserves another, I've heard on the grapevine that Lee is trying to stitch you up over some programmers' contracts.
Oh, well, don't you worry about Lee. I'll mark his card before the meeting. If we're giving up accounts, he can give up some of his precious team.
Whatever happens, I want this kept completely under wraps. No one must know that we're thinking about laying people off.
So what are we supposed to do?
We must look as though we're totally happy with all the changes that are going to happen. It's all good news. Redundancies won't touch sales. And we're even thinking about taking on more people and promoting some of the existing staff.
So we must lie about what's going to happen?
Look, if the competition found out, they'd be straight on to all our clients. I'm counting on you not to breathe a word about what's going on.
You know Jeff is leaving to take a job at Lotus.
Is he? Well, he hasn't mentioned it to me.
And Georgina has a second interview with Computermatics.
Georgina?
But Matthew thinks he's got the job.
Matthew is leaving as well?
Well, it's all the uncertainty. All the other departments have got meetings planned to discuss the changes. Because we haven't said anything, everybody is assuming the worst. You can't really blame them for going after other jobs.
But Matthew will get it. They called and offered me the job last night.
Brenda, you wouldn't.
The balls, as they say, Mike, are in your court.
This is all John Wood's fault.
Do you think so? Well, don't you? I think the whole matter could have been handled better. I think it's disgraceful, the rumours flying around about Redshift.
What rumours?
Idle gossip. Of course, my team are standing by me, because they know I'll defend them. What are you trying to say? Just don't be too eager to sacrifice Redshift. You let 5 or 10 people go, and in 6 months' time, John Wood will be back for more. You'll see your empire gradually melt away.
But what can I do?
Dig your heels in like I'm doing. If both production and sales refuse to cooperate with John, then he's going to look pretty stupid. You never know. It might be enough to pack him back to the States with his tail between his legs.
But do you think it would work? I mean, you've read the Beechwood report. Sales and profits are slipping.
Redware is still making money. You produce the stuff, I'll sell it. Softex is hardly likely to throw us out on the street. You know, I've got a good mind to go to the board of Softex and sabotage what John is up to.
I think you're right. It's about time we stood up for ourselves. You are damned right. You support me and I'll support you. We'll show that John Wood where to stick his Project 2000.
Good man. I knew I could depend on you, Charles.
You see, in a change program like this, resistance, well, is to be expected. It's only healthy. If you don't generate resistance, you're not challenging people. It's only when they complain and they fight what's going on you can be sure that they're changing inside. It's the old 3/3 principle. Now, 1/3 of the company will embrace change. 1/3 can be persuaded, and 1/3 will never change. They are the terrorists with deeply entrenched positions. They'll do anything they can to stop change happening. The first third see opportunities in change. The second third are fence-sitters, but when they see the first lot go for it, they will follow. Now, the last third, the terrorists, well, they're the ones you got to get rid of because they will sabotage the whole process.
I couldn't agree more. I want to use Project 2000 as an opportunity to weed out my less successful sales staff.
Okay. Jeff? Georgina and Matthew? You sure?
It's a question of loyalty.
Well, your staff, you know best.
Oh, and I'd like to promote Brenda. That way people won't see the changes as all bad news.
Good idea.
Oh, Lee, I hear there's a query about some confidentiality clauses.
Ah.
Well, I've checked the contracts, and I'm afraid it seems that your signature is on the bottom. So, if anybody screwed up, it wasn't me. Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, I have plans from Lee, and I have plans from Jenny. And Jenny, you're right about legal. If we lose control of the patents, we lose control of the future. Lee, it's a good start. You sure you can spare these people?
Well, yeah, sure. If you have to.
And Charles, I've yet to receive your plans.
That's because I haven't made any. I find this witch hunt for redundancies as distasteful as it is unnecessary. I didn't build up production to see it dismantled on the say of some wet behind-the-ears management consultants.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I have a duty to protect the interests of my people. It's not just me. Am I alone in resenting this direct attack on my authority and my abilities as a professional manager?
What do you others think?
Well, I don't see the point in hanging on to people who aren't pulling their weight. It's a competitive market out there.
Nobody likes to make people redundant, but we have to think about the company's future. That surely is our duty.
Mike, what do you think?
We're doing this all wrong. We should be selling this story to people, not letting the news just leak out. I suggest we set up a team, led by Jenny and myself, and do a coordinated communications campaign to both staff and to customers.
I beg your pardon?
We should let the staff see the plan and decide if they want to be part of it. After all, we don't want to hang on to the third who'll never change.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Jenny, you and I need to get together.
Yeah, sure. How about sometime next Tuesday morning?
I'll need to check the appointments.
Count me on that as well, will you?
You know, Mike, you're absolutely right. We should be much more upfront with our staff about this.
They'll know it makes sense.
And Jenny, if I could have a quick word about those clauses.